What is up, everybody out there in YouTube, Fragrance Land? Thanks for joining me. I will be your host for the next couple of minutes, few minutes, Stephen Sturgill, and thanks for joining me on my channel. Today, guys, we are looking again at a throwback scent, an all-time classic. That is Platinum Egoiste Chanel Paris. So, and that's the cap. You can see the engraving there, or stamp rather. Well, anyways, let's review the scent. Before I do, let's get into the noses. There were two. Just as a side note, the original Mac Daddy Egoiste dropped in 1990. But how many of you knew out there that in actuality, the fragrance was sort of experimentally initially launched in the United States of America as a limited edition called Bois Noir in '87, 3 years prior. That means Blackwood in English. At any rate, I thought that was kind of cool. Now, Jacques Borges was the initial perfume nose for the original, and then the later flanker in 1993 also used Jacques Borges and also Francois Demachy. So, I'm not going to go through all the list of what they've done, but let's look at Jacques Borges for a second. He did Ungaro pour l'Homme, Ungaro in 1991, Tiffany for Men's Sport 98, Ungaro pour l'Homme 3, 93, Allure Eau de Toilette, Chanel 1996, Une Fleur de Chanel, Chanel 1998, Soir de Paris, Evening in Paris, Bourgeois 1991, Coco Chanel 1984. That's an all-time classic and classic bottle. He did the infamous Antaeus in '81. He did one of my all-time favorites for men, Salvatore Ferragamo pour Homme in 1999. He did Allure Homme in also 99. He did Allure Homme Sport in 2004 and Allure Sensuelle in 2005. Coromandel Eau de Toilette, Chanel 07, Eau de Cologne, Chanel 07, Bel Respiro Eau de Toilette, Chanel 07, 31 Rue Cambon Eau de Toilette. Anyways, it goes on and on and on and on. We'd be here all night if we went over. He also did Bleu de Chanel, Coco Noir Parfum. He did the Allure Homme Edition Blanche, 2014, and most recently has done Cuir de Russie Eau de Parfum, Chanel 2016, and Gabrielle in 2017. So check it out. Check out the list. He's got too many for me to spend all night going through. And then his camarade in arms, Francois Demachy, is just as storied, basically. And for example, he has done Dior Homme Sport Original, original, 08 from Christian Dior, Fahrenheit Absolute 09, Dior Homme Intense 07, Eau Sauvage Fraîcheur Cuir 07, Bois d'Argent, Christian Dior 04, Masculine Équateur, Bourgeois 1993, Mon Parfum Bourgeois. No, that can't be. Never mind. That's not him. Let's see what else stands out. He's done several of the really fancy bottle, those large, they're like old-fashioned, I don't know, wine decanters or something. They're cylindrical. The Colonne Royale and the Milly Lafayette. He also did the Escale au Marquis and the Ambre Nuit, Mitza. He did the Fendi pour Homme, which Mark Robes 08, shout out to you, brother, from Canada. Fendi 2012, which is a very underrated fragrance from what I've heard and read and seen online. I've never personally smelled it. Eau Sauvage Parfum Original 2012. Kenzo Homme Sport 2012. Leather Oud Christian Dior 2010. Granville 2010, New Look 47, Vetiver 2010, Mitza, I already said Mitza, sorry. Ries Montaigne, Dior Addict Eau Délice, Dior de Toilette, Dahlia Noir L'eau, Fendi Fendi Eau Fraiche, Dior Homme Cologne, Musc Elixir Precious, excuse me, Aqua di Parma, Colonia Leather. Man, this guy's done some mega fragrances, guys. He did Dahlia Divine for women, Givenchy, Eau Sauvage Cologne, La Colle Noire, 2016 Christian Dior, and Sauvage Eau de Parfum 2018, and Dior Homme Sport 2017, and Sauvage Very Cool Spray, and Eau Sauvage Parfum 2017 version, the newer blend, I should say. Eau d'Elixir Précieux 2014, Ambre Elixir, same thing, and Rose Elixir. Also Dior Homme Eau for men, which is the lighter cologne version. On and on and on and on. That's it. I'm not going to list anymore. Anyways, these guys are mega. They are mega. They are rock stars of the perfume world. I'm sure they've been handsomely paid. So anyways, what are we getting in the notes? Sorry for all that ramble, but I thought it'd be very interesting to kind of think about the careers of both of the noses and to understand sort of the history and the fragrances, the mega iconic fragrances that between them, they have more than 60 iconic fragrances, literally. So it's just sensational to think about. Okay, back to the notes. So top notes, lavender, rosemary, petitgrain. Heart notes are clary sage, geranium, and galbanum. And finally in your base, we're getting vetiver, cedarwood, labdanum, and tree moss. So kind of a traditional, classy men's fragrance, harkening back to very, very classic French fragrances that used much the same. Also, some really old British or English fragrances also used almost the exact notes breakdown back in the day, but they probably varied the proportions of the ingredients. So, without further ado, miniature drum roll. What do I get? And by the way, guys, these are still not cheap. This classic, timeless fragrance you would think would be at a lot of the discounters online. It's not. I checked. One of them did have the smaller size for like $85, half of this size. This is not a cheapie, guys. You're not going to find this that easily at discounters, either online or in person. I did find some e-tellers, e-sellers, resellers on eBay for anywhere from between about $70 all the way up to about $120. And you're kind of rolling the dice because some of those were testers. You know how I feel about buying testers online. Be careful. And some of them appear to be legit. You're rolling the dice, guys. But I don't know what else to recommend. If you want to find one of these, it's going to be pretty difficult if you don't roll the dice. Anyways, having said that, let's get into it. Really good Chanel blasters on these things. The mister's phenomenal. Now, it opens kind of smooth and almost feminine to a point. And I believe that's that lavender and petitgrain along with the geranium and galbanum. And certainly the vetiver is coming in with the labdanum and the tree moss. I think I just got some clary sage and some rosemary. The lavender is quite prominent. Cedarwood is quite prominent. Vetiver is quite prominent. Sorry, I'm not meaning to use that word so often, but what I like about it has that nice blend. Although I will say the galbanum and the geranium and clary sage, that's not to everyone's perfect taste buds, if you will, as far as olfactory sensibilities go. There is some tree moss. More than anything, guys, this is a gentlemanly, smooth, soft, somewhat plant-based, with the tree moss, the geranium, some herbal with the rosemary and petitgrain. The lavender's there, but it's kind of muted by the clary sage and vetiver. The cedarwood is certainly there. Nothing stands out overly strong, but that vetiver and tree moss, along with the petitgrain, I believe, and the lavender are quite quite prominent. Hey, I said it again. Sorry. It has a certain sweetness to it, almost a floral. If you subtracted like 90% of the typical floral essence, if that makes any sense. I mean, there is a sweet sort of bouquet aspect to this perfume. Well, it's actually a cologne, I guess, and a eau de toilette, but uh, it's just kind of timeless. It's gentle. It's sweet. A little. I mean, not overly sweet, but there's a sweetness. There's a sweet bouquet aromatic to it. It's definitely, I would say, sort of an herbal, woodsy, green fragrance. Almost slightly bearing slightly into the vein of a green Irish tweed, but more of an older throwback version of that, and not quite as green, if that makes sense. It's really good. It's not a powerhouse by any means. It's not a beast mode fragrance. It's definitely on the softer side. If you're looking for beast mode projection, this is not your scent. This would be great for either really anything, but especially at work. Um, I would say it's date night, but for date night for a much older gentleman, like say 50 plus, in my opinion. I don't even think anyone still under 40s is going to rock this on a date. That's just my opinion. Could be wrong. I think this would be great for functions. I think could be okay for casual wear, but it nothing wrong with that. But it does feel a little dressy, so maybe casual with more style, perhaps. This to me screams suit and tie functions. Again, you certainly could wear this on a date, but you would definitely have to probably be a bit older or very mature, not too worried about effusing something that's more passion inspiring or sexy or overtly sensuous and mysterious or dark and smoky, tobacco-y. It depends on how you like to roll and what type of fragrances you like to rock. But that's going to do it for me. That's about my take. Anyone can rock this, I think, above the age of 21, but I would say it'd probably be fairly uncommon below the age of 25. A certain amount of maturity and sophistication is required, I think, to rock this scent appropriately. Other than that, again, whatever you like, roll with it. Pull no punches. It's your money, it's your body, it's your scent, it's your nose, and we all smell things a little bit differently. So until next time, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope I didn't bore you to death. If you like, subscribe, hit the bell for future updates, and I will see you next time with a different fragrance. Guys, stay sharp, stay smelling great, spray often, spray well, live life on your terms, not someone else's. Peace, love you guys.